Hello, my loves, and welcome to your weekly psychic astrology horoscope with me. I am calling this week Hack Away the Unessential. This is Bruce Lee that came through, not actually Bruce, just that energy and that quote that came through for you guys. So, we're going to talk about everything this week, all of the major shifts and major movements. So, go ahead and buckle in. I think there's something on my phone. So if it looks sort of like, I don't know if it's like blurry or maybe it's just like hand lotion or something. Sorry, I'll fix that later. So after this, I will actually do my very first horoscope sign by sign for the week ahead. So all of everything that I'm talking about today, I'm going to be going over on Patreon and talking about how this is affecting you personally. And I'll be doing like Aries, and then I'll do Libra just to kind of like break it up and make it really fun. So, okay, the biggest thing about this week is Venus conjuncting Pluto. And the big shifts are happening at the top of the week right now, at the very beginning, like Monday, Tuesday, and then later on. Okay, first of all, thank you to everyone. Thank you to Al. Thank you to Patty and everyone, Jake, everyone that's sent in, and Al with those beautiful folders, all of this stuff because it helps me with my work. I did all the calendar, all the months for 2022. So I have all the transits. It's going to be wild. Kind of a weird year next year. Kind of, not going to lie, it's kind of weird. The middle of spring is probably the best. Anyway, so, but now we're on the right month. Now we're on January. So, yeah, the end of this week, like Friday, Saturday, and then Monday, Tuesday, that's going to be the big shift that you guys are going to feel. Hello, willkommen. Howdy, partner. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump in. This week, the changes are going to be very. Okay, let me put it this way. So, you guys know that last year when I talked about Saturn entering into the sign of Aquarius, that I talked about how different tribes and groups and families and companies and friend groups are going to be breaking apart and new ones are going to be forming together and then some other ones are going to get even stronger. So that's that influence. It's Saturn stress testing all of the groups that we belong to, where we feel that sense of camaraderie. And that's going to be for the 2 years still. But this first year we had Jupiter with Aquarius. So since last year they've been together. So it's been really easy to take that for granted. When Jupiter leaves at the end of December, it'll be a different vibe. It'll be a very different vibe. And what I've been looking at are the last big transits, the last big energies to Jupiter before they're gone for 12 years. And while they've, what are they finishing up while they've been with Saturn in the sign of Aquarius to give it this boost, but not just like a boost of optimism, but just changing perspective. So bringing in new people, bringing in new ideas, bringing in new concepts. Oh, there's this whole like social tribe energy with this. So this week is a big one. So on Tuesday, Mars in Scorpio squares Jupiter in Aquarius. And then at the end of this week, it's going to be Mercury in Sagittarius that sextiles Jupiter in Aquarius. And then at the end of next week, at the full moon in Gemini, giving you a little preview here, the sun in Sagittarius will sextile Jupiter in Aquarius. And that's kind of like the last big thing aside from the lunar transits until the 28th of December when Jupiter leaves and enters Pisces. So, how are you feeling the middle of May to the end of July? As far as like the people in your life, who was around? It might not be the same people. It could be that energy returning, but from different people in different contexts and different relationships. But that's a time period that you want to think back on. Also, I think it was like the end of July, the beginning of August. Yeah, it's like July 31st or something like that. That's another time period that you want to look at. And just like the energy for this month. But in this week ahead, basically you're going to be using boundaries to disconnect from people and situations and feelings and energies that you've outgrown. And I feel we don't you this doesn't have to be very like conflict heavy. You always want to disconnect or leave or walk away with kindness and integrity between the both of you, everyone in the situation. Unless it's toxic, then you just walk away, and I'll talk about that more. Um, but then by the end of the week with Mercury sextiling Jupiter, it's like there's either been new people coming in, fresh faces, or there's been a deepening with the people that are already in your life, or there've just been maybe experiences that brought you and your family, you and your friend group, you and your company, your tribe together to make you guys even stronger. But you'll have had to grow together for that to happen. You know, if someone wants to grow, if someone wants to do something different and like everyone else doesn't, that's where you get this sort of black sheep energy, where the black sheep in the family is usually the golden child, and they're usually the one that's going to be like dipping, because no one else wants to change that structure. Maybe people benefit from, you know, everyone scapegoating someone at the same time, whatever. So it's kind of like that. It's kind of like that. And by the end of the week, though, you're going to be sharing your experiences, sharing your beliefs with people that you're growing with, or that you are um, new people that you're meeting that you're listening to with an actual open mind, not just like already deciding what you believe or deciding what you already think, but like really taking in their energy and what they're saying and connecting in like a very authentic way, and growing with that. Okay, even if you don't take, that's a sign of intelligence, by the way, when you can really take in everything of a person and what they're saying, and not necessarily, you know, hold an ego identity to what they're saying or what they're not saying or how you feel or how you don't feel. So, okay, there's also what I'm going to talk about is like this merry-go-round energy, like this creepy merry-go-round energies, because, you know, just because we get these opportunities, these transits, doesn't mean that everyone takes that opportunity to grow or takes that opportunity to evolve. Sometimes, oh, that's right, I forgot. I was going to put this on, but I decided against it. Um, anyway, but the creepy merry-go-round. So it's like, you know, these transits come up, we may not necessarily take the opportunity to grow. And so we kind of just stay on this creepy merry-go-round, and we just get more of the same. And then things like just don't change because we don't change. We don't take a painful experience and use it to grow and learn. We just, and I'll get more into that too. But there's another thing that I like about this week. I don't like this week out of the whole of December. This is probably the week that I like the very, very, very least, because of this, of these squares, and it's sort of just like either bubbles bursting or perception issues or vision differences, or, you know, what you thought someone was about, they're not really about that, or you need someone to show up for you and they just don't and they can't, and you realize that they have a limitation ethically, morally, spiritually, and so that's like, damn, it sucks, you know. It's kind of like that, but um what I do like about this week though is the humor that I see here. So Mercury in Sagittarius it's not very strong in Sagittarius, but I like it for humor. And then we have Jupiter in Aquarius, which can have its own humor. And then of course the Venus Pluto conjunction at the very end of the week with Capricorn. Capricorn, probably the most humorous, I know, believe it or not. But she gave me, and I'm also getting a lot of collective downloads. So I'm going to be back with collective tarot, more collective tarot this week to get these messages out. But okay, so I have a little anecdote for you guys. So I was tuning into this Jupiter energy. I was like, what's the last big lesson that we're here to learn in December before Jupiter leaves Aquarius for over a decade? And she channeled this memory, this thing that happened to me. It was like the summer, I think. I was driving and my car started like to smoke and my truck started over smoke. And so I pulled over and I was standing with the hood up looking at my stuff under the hood with some people. And okay, here's something really funny. So, you know, I learned this that day, but my truck doesn't have to check the oil, doesn't have the stick. And I grew up always taking care of my car fluids, like the antifreeze, the windshield wiper fluid, doing my own oil checks, and just like all of that. Like the fluids, I just got them all. I can do that, right? So it was me and a few people looking, and I say, the oil can symbol, I said, "Oh, well, let's follow this. This looks like this little genie lamp emoji right here." And I look up, no one laughed. I looked up, I looked to the people around me, no one looked at me. Everyone just sort of was quiet, and they just let the moment pass. And I'm getting there. I'm going to wrap this up at the very end and tell you how this relates to Jupiter and Aquarius, but just go with me here in this story. So I knew right then and there that I was not in the presence of a Scorpio. You guys have heard me talk about my favorite couples are Scorpio Capricorn and Capricorn Capricorn. But here's the thing, and here's the thing about humor is that, okay, so in the moment, if a Scorpio were there, let me put it this way, if a Scorpio were there, they would have looked at me right away. They would have looked at me and they would have searched my eyes. They would have searched my soul looking for the answer. Like, what does she really believe? What is she really saying? And I would have looked back and they would have laughed. They would have gotten it. Not out loud. They wouldn't have laughed out loud. They would have laughed like deep, deep, deep down, though. They would have gotten it. And it would have been funny. This is why Scorpios really like me, because I make them laugh, not maybe out loud like ha ha ha, but deep, deep, deep down. Deep, deep, deep down. And here's the thing. No one laughed because they thought I was being like a dumb shit. They thought that I was being like, and here's the important part about that is that how people treat you that way, how people treat you when they think that about you, it says everything. Because here's the real kicker is that I have my moon in Aquarius. So I have very authentically ditzy moments, especially if I'm like in a new environment, or especially if I know nothing about something and I'm learning something for the first time. It's like I'm 6 years old. It's like I'm like this baby, and I have like this wonder about it, right? So it's like Scorpios love that about me because they're like trying to discern, like, is this one of those moments, or is she being so funny that it's almost gonna miss me? It's, you know what I'm saying? So this is why I love Scorpios, because they like that kind of thing. They like that humor that's just, you can miss it. The thing about humor like that is you don't just have to be like intelligent. You have to not take yourself so seriously. You have to not have such a big ego. And it's fucking hilarious. I'm hilarious. Okay, so it's like, not that I can't do slapstick. Like I love physical comedy, and like that's funny too. But it's like that Scorpio humor is not at face value. It's deep, and it's something that is really, really subtle that you can almost miss. And it's like a whole thing. I feel like I'm not even explaining it right, but like I hope you get it. I hope that makes some kind of sense, because it's a perfect illustration of like your people and your tribe. Like I should definitely be with a Scorpio. Like I'd be tripping. So it's like in that moment, like no one got it, no one laughed. You know what I'm saying? There was like a disconnect. I called the symbol for the oil can a genie bottle emoji, like in all with deadpan, like a Capricorn. Capricorn is deadpan, completely serious. It's like, but it just go. So that's another thing about Capricorns is like Capricorns, they're not funny if they take themselves too seriously, if they're all about ego. So like I'm saying, like if I say something like that, and either whether I'm serious or if I'm joking, people will react like either mean, like they're bullies and they're cruel and they're critical and they're angry at me and they're just like mean to me, or they're really kind and they're sweet and they're patient and they're sweet and they're kind. So it's like the difference like by how people are treating you. So this is what I'm saying, like Jupiter and Aquarius, like this whole month, and especially this week, because there's two aspects here. There's two big things happening. The first big thing is at the beginning of the week, and then it's like a lighter aspect at the end of the week. This is showing you like where you fit in with people and where you just don't fit in. And it doesn't make anybody wrong. If you want to, put up a boundary and stop talking to someone, a family member or a friend, that's okay. You're not wrong. If someone doesn't want to talk to you anymore and they want a boundary with you and they don't want to hear from you ever again, that doesn't make them wrong either. It's okay. Like, it's all okay. You know what I'm saying? As just stay in your own vibe, like but it's like, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is a big week for that, where like the vibe is there or the vibe is not there. And the beginning of the week was it, yeah, like today, tomorrow, Mars in Scorpio is sextiling Pluto in Capricorn today, the same day that Mercury is squaring Neptune today. I feel like I'm gonna trigger somebody. I'm trying not to. Like, I want to be like, I am everybody's friend. I'm like the embarrassing mom that's just gonna embarrass everybody because I'm so embarrassing. I'm hilarious. But and then Tuesday, tomorrow, Mars will square Jupiter. So we're in all three of those energies right now. All day today, Monday, all day tomorrow. The moon in Capricorn is meeting up with Venus, meeting up with Pluto. And then tomorrow, the moon will be in Aquarius. So it's like, that's the vibe. That's the vibe. You're hacking away at the unessential and choose how you want to feel. Like, I want to laugh. Like, I'm here to laugh in life. I am here to be funny. I'm here for people to laugh at my jokes. I'm here for people to like get it. You know what I'm saying? Like in my personal life, but you guys get it obviously here because we vibe. So I just feel like if you are staying in your family, in your friend group, in your work friend group, if you're staying in groups that that don't get you, that you don't even like, it's going to be a hard 3 years. It just is. Like, Saturn in Aquarius wants you to define who you are first and then go find your people. And it doesn't have to be that order, like, but put yourself on YouTube, start a TikTok, and then let people find your vibe and find your energy and then like come to you. Like, that's what I did. Like, honestly, I'm getting it that it's just too much to ask wherever you physically are locationally to find people that just really get you. The way that you can connect with someone halfway across the world that just gets you. I'm like meant to be in the internet. Like, I love uploading my consciousness and all of my downloads here for you guys because I know that it's going to transcend space and time, that there's going to be people born in 2 years from now connecting with me 10 years from now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just freaking love that. Okay. Anyway, so that's kind of what I'm getting. Like, I hope that story wasn't too, I hope you guys get it. I hope you guys get the thing about how I was hilarious and nobody got my joke, and how the example of if a Scorpio were there, and this is what I love about Scorpios. Like, honestly, Scorpios and we will be anywhere at any time, and I'll just say something fucking ridiculous, deadpan, like a Capricorn, and they, and I got him. And then, because then they go, you know what? You just made me laugh in my soul, deep down. How did she do that? And then I do it again and again. I mean, that's not the only reason why Scorpios like me, if you know what I'm saying, but I'm just saying that's like a big one, is having that connection, that invisible connection. So I hope you guys look for that with your people. And that's not to say like Tauruses love me because of my slapstick humor. Aquariuses love me because the banter back and forth. Aquariuses and we do the banter. It's very back and forth until someone scores a point. So it's like, you're gonna have your people that you vibe with, and like, just go with that. Just go with that. You're gonna save yourself so much time over the next couple of years. Okay, let's keep it moving here. So that's a big thing happening this week, but then like all month. And then there's a creepy merry-go-round, and then I'm gonna talk also about Venus conjuncting Pluto. Okay, so Sunday to Monday. Sunday. Okay, the moon in Capricorn. So Sunday was maybe a little bit rough for you guys. You're making some emotional decisions. Realizing where you've outgrown and being honest with yourself about that. Being honest with yourself about like I can't make people laugh if they're not going to laugh, if they don't get it. You know what I'm saying? If someone doesn't get it, how am I going to live my life if someone doesn't laugh at my jokes? You know what I'm saying? Or how am I gonna live my like my ex, my soulmate, my Taurus, number 1, he's psychic, but number 2, we lived together in my mother's basement, and he saw all of the psychic attacks I was going under and I was suffering. He saw all of the psychic stuff, and he experienced it, and he lived it with me. Like, so for me to, like, go forward in my life and be with someone that, like, doesn't believe that I'm psychic or, like, doesn't take my life or my work seriously, like, it just doesn't make any sense, for instance. You know what I'm saying? So it's, like, getting really real about that's gonna severely, even more narrow the people that I can be with. You know what I'm saying? So it's like being real honest about what you're outgrowing, what's not going to work, like very practically too. So I hope you guys are learning from my life. Like that's the only reason why I like even share any of this. So, because it's just easier that way. And when I know a lot of you guys are astrologers and tarot readers and offer services, so just know that too, that your anecdotes, it just helps your people just understand things like that much quicker. Like it's just like instant download. So don't be afraid to like share for the collective. Okay. Okay. I got a download about someone on Sunday. I'm not the timing psychic, so it might be like anytime this week, but I'm getting that someone is getting out of the drama triangle. I don't know if you guys ever heard about the drama triangle, but this is from like the 1960s. Like this is not a new thing. So basically there's this triangle and it's pointing down, okay? So there's a rescuer, there's a victim and a persecutor. And we we go through all of these different roles in one conversation, or we can stick to just one role. So the rescuer is like, let me help you, let me save you. The victim is like, poor me. And the persecutor is like the critical person, like, it's all your fault. It's all your fault. The persecutor is the one that like wants to win at all costs, and they're very blamey, they're critical, they criticize you. They want to keep you very oppressed, and they're very controlling, they can be a bully. So maybe your lover is being like that and they're persecuting you. And then maybe your son comes in and they're now the rescuer. They're like, hey, leave him alone, leave him alone. The rescuer wants to intervene because they feel guilty watching someone drown. This is crossing boundaries, but they just feel that way. They just feel like this very deep need to go in and save someone, and they neglect their own needs in the process. And then maybe you're the victim and you're like, poor me, poor me. Staying the victim, it's like staying very dejected, and it prevents you from making decisions, solving problems, changing your situation, changing the current state of your situation or your relationship. And it prevents you from being able to feel or sense any kind of satisfaction or achievement. So then they're like, hey, leave him alone, leave him alone. And then maybe the victim turns into the persecutor, like, hey, what are you doing standing up for me? You were picking on me yesterday and you were criticizing me yesterday. Now the victims become the persecutor, and now the rescuer maybe becomes the persecutor and starts to fire back and saying, well, that's because you were doing this. And then they become the victim again. So it's like the roles always change. Or if someone is needing something from someone else and someone comes in, so it's like just Google it, because it's something that's already been here since, like I said, like the 1960s, but I'm getting that very specifically. So like that is for someone that's like a very specific channel. Now, there's also a way to transform these roles into a very healthy empowerment triangle. So, just like super briefly, the rescuer can become a coach. So, instead of being like wanting to rescue people, you can be very encouraging people to solve their own problems. The victim can become a creator. So, instead of being like, poor me, they can innovate solutions to their own problems. The persecutor can become a challenger, someone that is challenging the situation or the other person to be better instead of being a bully and being super critical. Okay. This is super common in like toxic love connections, because, someone wants a problem to be solved, but they're going to be a persecutor and they're going to be really critical and bully someone. And then, when they're being too much of a victim, maybe they go away, they become the rescuer and they're like, well, I just want to save the situation. It's like this, the toxic merry-go-round. So, like, if you're like in any kind of like back and forth love connection, like look that up, read that over and over again, the triangles, and just like Okay. Monday, today, you're realizing again, the moon in Capricorn, you're realizing something's over. It doesn't necessarily have to be a situation or a relationship, but it probably will be. But what's over is how you're feeling and how you want to feel. You're like, energetically, I'm not there anymore. All of my jobs that I've ever had in my life, I can always feel when it's about to end because my energy isn't there anymore. Like I'll show up to work, I'll do the things, but like I can feel like I'm not there. Like my energy is not there. That's kind of what I'm getting from Monday. You're like, okay, and if your situation or if your relationship is going to survive, then it has to change with the energy. It can't stay the same or it won't last much longer. I'm telling you that right now. That's like that Venus retrograde in Capricorn, okay? So if there's, then it won't last much longer. Like naturally, it'll naturally die. But if there's confrontation, like if someone's being a persecutor and saying like, I can't believe you did this. I can't believe, if they want to, if they're like that, if there's that kind of confrontation, then that ending will happen sooner. That's all. Oh, I haven't been doing the timestamps. Okay. Sorry. I just got so into it. But I was like, oh, timestamps. Tuesday. Okay. Welcome to Tuesday. So on Tuesday, this is when we have the Mars square Jupiter and we have the moon entering into Aquarius. So you can use this energy to face your relationship fears. You can really choose to either stay on the creepy merry-go-round or jump off. You can't unknow what you've seen and what you've learned. You can't unknow what you know. So you'll have the realization, and that's the subconscious, unconscious becoming conscious. And then you're faced with the responsibility of either making the change or staying the same. Everything's hard. Staying the same is hard. Changing is hard. So it's like choose your heart, but just be patient with yourself because having the realization can be traumatic depending on like what's going on with you. So you'll have to lie to yourself to stay on the merry-go-round because you know better now. You know better. So when that subconscious becomes conscious, you have to work on changing the pattern. So be gentle with yourself if you keep signing up for that creepy merry-go-round. It's like we're usually cognizant and conscious that there's something bad happening before we're able to change it. It's very rare that someone's like, "Oh, I know that this is toxic." And then they just break up or then they just leave their family and then it's immediate and it's over and then it's all clean. It's just like it's usually pretty messy. Just don't judge people for this. When you see that happening, when you see people knowing that or coming to a realization and signing up for another go on the merry-go-round, don't judge them for that. We would always rather understand than judge. Let your heart decide because the mind and the facts that may just be missing because of Mercury square might just be gone. Okay. Wednesday. On Wednesday. So now the middle of the week, it's just lunar transits. It's lunar stuff. Moon's in Aquarius and but again, it's like that Aquarian energy from the beginning of the week to the end of the week and even the middle of the week with the moon being in Aquarius. It's really like who's my people? Where's my tribe? Who's my vibe? Who gets it? Who feels me? Who do I feel? So Wednesday you're drawing lines internally where you belong and where you don't belong. So this is like mentally and emotionally. It's really sinking in, it's really sitting with you and you're really considering it. And I'm just saying like if you're aligned with anything because you think it gives you status or purpose or credibility or ego validation, like whatever, if it's not authentic, you're going to come up against some cognitive dissonance, you're going to come up against some ethics, you're going to come up against some internal questions for yourself so that's some of the fear that may be preventing you from making the changes you want to make, but you can overcome that. Speaking of fear, on Thursday, Thursday, these fears can be coming up again because Thursday the moon's going to be going to go void, but then going to enter Pisces. Pisces is very fearful. Pisces energy, Neptune energy can really make the whole world look different to you because of the fear, and you'll believe it. You'll totally believe in the fear. So Thursday, any fears that come up, you can let it come up, know what it is, and then alchemize it. It's coming up to be alchemized, to be transformed into something else. But you have to walk into that knowing that you have this feeling of fear and that you're going to change it and alchemize it, transform it into something else. You have to try, you have to want it. That's why you don't judge other people. That's why you don't push anybody into their growth. That's why you don't explain your joke to make people laugh. People laughing at my jokes is so important to me. It's ridiculous. Friday. Okay, welcome to Friday. Friday, now things are getting spicy again. This is when Mercury in Sag sextiles Jupiter in Aquarius. That's also when Venus conjuncts Pluto in Capricorn. So Friday, some big changes. That's like when you're seeing something that has to be seen. If there's anything super toxic, if the power imbalances, you're going to see it. I have a little list here for you guys. Just Venus Pluto stuff. Okay. Venus conjunct Pluto in Capricorn, dealing with power issues. So I have a little list from this little website. The casting couch, backroom deals by power brokers, a gay politician with a beard, a wife, a kept woman, a deal with the devil, BDSM, a father raping his daughter, the kiss of death, till death do us part, vendetta, revenge against a lover, a damaged reputation. Those are really negative and serious things for Venus Pluto. But here you have Venus, which is love, relationships. You have Pluto, which is power and control. And then you have Capricorn, which is authority and power issues, power plays, its structures. Oh, that was from Elsa. That little list I have. There's this Venus conjunct Pluto thing that they have on their website. So go to Elsa for that. That's the credit. Okay. So those are some like really dark, underworldly Venus Pluto things. So if anything of that is coming up in your life, in your relationships, you're gonna see it Friday. You're gonna see it. But this is also where people have sabotaged people, where people have done anything manipulative towards somebody else. This is also a time when you can heal that. So that's like the dark part of it. The lighter part of it is that you're purging and you're letting go of some of this stuff, but also your own ideas about it, your own ideas about relationships, you're purging your own toxic baggage. So that may or may not be happening in your life right now. But if it ever happened to you, so if any of that in the list was part of your past, was part of your experience, it could be coming up on Friday for the purpose of releasing it and purging it, transforming that into wisdom, alchemizing pain into providence, as I have said before. On Friday, actions are all that are meaningful. This whole week, really. This whole week, actions are the only thing that's meaningful. Opt out. Opt out of anything that's not right for you with integrity for everyone in the situation, unless it's a volatile situation. Like if someone was a rescuer, like trying to help you, but then you're like, you know what, this isn't for me. And then they turn into a persecutor and they start blaming you and criticizing you for trying to leave the situation, trying to leave the relationship. Super toxic, super manipulative. Then all you can do doing by your own integrity, is to walk away. No last word, no closure. You don't need closure. Closure is just verbalizing what's already happened. And even if you get that closure, it won't be enough. It won't be enough. Then it'll be, but why? Or someone will turn into a victim and use it to be like, let's try again. Now that we've had this discussion, now that it's all out there, let's start over. Let's do it again. Let's stay on the merry-go-round. You know what I'm saying? That clearing of the air, they might use that as a door open to choosing to stay on the creepy merry-go-round. It's just picking a different seat. It's like picking a different horse to sit on the merry-go-round. If it's your choice, it's your choice. We're not gonna judge you for making that choice, but you're gonna be real about that with yourself about, like, that is your choice that you are making out of your free will. So, what I'd like you to do Friday is to prove to yourself that you trust yourself to lead your own life and to hack away the unessential. That's what I like about Venus Pluto is that sure, if like that's been part of your experience, like that dark underworldly stuff, and if you've been manipulated, if you were betrayed by your mother when you were an infant, if you were abandoned by your mother or a feminine when you were a toddler, if anything has been like that in your experience, Friday is the day to meditate, to take whatever is coming up and use it to purge it out of your body, your physical body. If you've been holding on to that trauma somewhere in one of your chakra area points, whatever, and let it go. Let that pain go, alchemize that experience into wisdom, pain into providence. And it's like you could be, for instance, someone could be a misogynist. You could hate women. You could be a woman, be a man, doesn't matter, and always have something against them because of that, because you were betrayed, because your boundaries were violated, because of whatever. And it's just been keeping you from feeling close to a woman and keeping you from even understanding your own feminine energy, your own divine feminine. Feminine energy is either open or it's closed. Feminine energy just wants to receive. Masculine energy is like the laser that points and goes to get. We all have divine masculine and feminine in ourselves. So if your inner feminine energy is like wounded or broken or closed, it's going to be closed off or it's going to be open to receive. So if you've been closed off, not really open to receive love, not open to receive good vibes, this would be the day to work on that. That would be the day to close off and put up a boundary between you and the family, the friends, the lovers, the people in your life that only perpetuate that old story, because the sun in Sagittarius is writing a new story for ourselves. And it's based on how we are philosophizing our past experience into our own life perspective, life view, our own beliefs about life, our own religion, our own spirituality, how we want to feel. We derive our own meaning of life. What does life mean to you personally based off of your experiences that you've thought about and philosophized? I'm really putting it all together for all the 12 zodiac signs, breaking it all down for you this week. But that's a big, this is a huge part of it is Saturday, but Friday's the day where you can overcome that karma. You can rewrite your story. Your story's been going along in one way. You had a destiny, but the Taurus partial lunar eclipse a couple weeks ago ended it. Something that was going to manifest up until that partial lunar eclipse in Taurus is no longer going to happen. It's no longer going to manifest. And it's because of that partial lunar eclipse in Taurus. So you went through this eclipse portal the past couple weeks, and then Saturday you had the total solar eclipse in Sag. So now there's a whole new story taking place. And Friday the 10th, you're going to come back to that point on Christmas Eve. You're going to come back to that point the beginning of March 2022. So this is just the beginning of the ongoing story of what you're putting together for yourself. So, God, that was a lot. Okay, so that's Saturday. Saturday. Oh, I think I said Saturday. So that was Friday. So this is Saturday now. Now we're on Saturday the 11th. So on Saturday, we have the sun in Sag squaring Neptune in Pisces. And, oh, okay. And on Saturday, I'm like, why is Mercury hits the galactic centaur? Mercury hits 27 degrees of Sagittarius. You are really fleshing out some beliefs. You are really fleshing out mentalities and attitudes that don't serve you, that don't do anything for you. You can realize that, oh my God, that's because of a trauma. That's because of a pain. That's because I inherited this. That's because I don't want to outgrow where my parents were stunted, because I have this subconscious loyalty to them and I don't want to go further in life than they've been able to go, whatever it is for you. Okay. But Saturday with that sun square Neptune, there could be there could be some disappointment with a solar figure in your life. You might see them as like, oh, it's not what I thought you were. It's not what I thought you were about. Or you might just change your life direction because you were following a dream that was manufactured for you from your parents. They always wanted you to be a doctor, or society. It's cool to be like this. You want to be cool. Do whatever is cool. Do this thing. It's cool right now. And you're like, it's not cool. I don't think that's cool at all. I don't like it. You're going to think for yourself. Okay. But Saturday, what I like about Saturday is the follow through. So Saturday, you want to just follow through on what you already know. Either you have the realization and you're able to make the change, or you have the realization and you're like alchemizing and you're just like processing it the whole week. But Saturday, follow through. Don't look back. Don't look back. Trust yourself. Concentrate. Hold your line and believe in yourself. So if you need longer, if you need the whole Venus retrograde, the whole 4 months before you can make a change, then let that be what it is. Just let it be. Just let it be. We had this energy, I think 2014, 2015. I think maybe the end of 2014, the beginning of 2015. I think it might be, I haven't looked at the dates yet, but the last time Venus was in retrograding in Capricorn. So take a look back and see what was going on. And then these eclipses, 2001 to 2003, finishing up. And then we're starting these next eclipses, 2003, that they were 2003, I think 2005. So it's exciting. Like I said, I would just say, don't be afraid to make these changes. Don't be afraid to have these realizations. Don't be afraid. Just don't be afraid. There's never been a better time in human history for you to connect with other people authentically than right now. Start your YouTube, start your TikTok, and find those people and connect with those people. And whatever is coming up, especially with the feminine, this Venus Pluto, first of all, Venus in Capricorn loves the occult, loves tarot, astrology, psychic stuff, loves all that creepy, spooky, witchy stuff. So that's going to have like a renaissance, going to have like a very big popularity upswing now into, and really, really strong into March. So, and then with Pluto and the conjunction with Pluto, and then we're going to have Mercury, it's going to be that's why I'm really encouraging you guys to start your own astrology, tarot, psychic channels and all of your handles, because it's just going to blow up. Okay. I was looking at the wrong clock. Tarot. It's time for the tarot. And I'm getting some collective messages for you guys. So after this, I'm going to do the weekly over on Patreon. And that's going to be for all 12 zodiac signs, how this week and what you're doing this week for you guys. And then I'm going to finish the transit trackers. There's a lot of transit trackers this month. So I'm finishing the transit trackers. Those are personalized, how the month of December is happening for you personally based on your personal natal chart. And then I will do Capricorn and the weeklies. And I don't think I'm going to do the pre-shuffles on YouTube. I think I'm just going to go, number one, I don't think I'll have the time, but number two, there's like a log jam of like channeled messages that need to come through. So I have to get these messages out. What's the message? Hey, Brad. Hey, everybody. Karen, Mondo, Troy. Okay. Rosie Jane. I love that name, Rose. Okay. So we have relief and we have Eden, Empress energy. So honestly, letting go of these people or these beliefs is a huge relief to you. A warm, buttery beginning. Ooh, look at this card. I love this card. These are my channeled messages from 2020. So you're actually, some of you, whoever this is for, is starting something new this week. Telepathy, I know you know. And then past life connections are activating. Oh, take me back to the start, nostalgia. Oh, take me back to the start. Okay, confirmation. Your intuition will lead you to signs. Pick something right now. Not butterflies, not ladybugs, not something that you can see. Pick something obscure. Not too obscure, but something very specific to be your confirmation. So that you can see it this week. Maybe it's blue hair. I don't know. Maybe it's whatever, but pick something to give you more confirmation. That's what I say to my people. I'm like, test this stuff, test it. Watch it work for you. It's not enough that you guys see me being psychic. I want everyone to have their own experiences. I want everyone to have their own psychic experiences. We had a breakthrough in psychokinesis and telekinesis Thursdays this past week, and I am working on bringing in a guest, someone who's been doing it since they were a small child, and to do demonstration, answer questions for my students. So that's what I'm here to do. Energy mastery is teaching you guys to master your own energies. See what you can do, because it's not about me proving what I can do. It's about showing you what you can do. I feel like the world, this is how I'm contributing to the world. Okay. Tell me about relief. Strength, Eight of Wands, Seven of Wands. Okay. Someone's just got to get over the ego, to be honest. Once you get over your ego, you will feel so much better. That's that simple. And it's specifically something that you have to say, something that somebody has to say, communicate, you or somebody else. So if you're feeling someone else's frustrated energy, it's probably because they have something to say to you, but their ego is saying, no, protect myself, protect myself. But honestly, it's this Venus Pluto. It's like it's trying to be like a power play. It's trying to control them. It's trying to tell them no, but sorry, I shouldn't do that. Tell me about a warm, buttery beginning. Ooh, wow. So whatever you are beginning this week, it has some incredible potential to be the new structure of your life. This can be an institution. This can be a board. This can be a charity group. This can be a club. This can be a friend group. This can be a marriage. This can be any kind of very or even some belief system that fills you with a lot of solace. If you're beginning a whole new consideration for your own spirituality, your own personal spirituality, it can be something that that turns into something that just really gives you a great framework of how to live your life, even if that's considering things you've never considered before. I like that. I like it a lot. Okay, let's take a look at these separately. Oh, take me back to the start. So if there's a new person, or if you're taking things deeper with a person that you kind of already know, or if you and your partner are totally growing together, let's take a look. Oh, I thought that was something. Three of Wands. How interesting. This is what I'm getting with this is like, first of all, there might be physical distance between the both of you, or between you and your people. But it's almost like you go back to get each other to move forward. That's what I like about that. And that's what this past life thing is. Like if it's a new person and you just feel like you just know them, or you just feel like you connect with them, like you vibe with them, you've had a past lifetime with them before. You guys have heard me talk about like even your barista that you get coffee from every morning, maybe you guys could have been on the same ship when it went down. And, you guys, and hundreds of years ago, you could have been on the same thing, or you worked in the same space, and you worked in the same, hold on. My knees are like about to crack. I'm sorry. I should have worn better pants. I'm sorry. You guys could have worked at the same, what was I going to say? You could have worked at the same something in a past life. And it's just like, maybe you were an editor and a writer at something in a past life, and now they're your barista. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, or maybe they did your books and you were a medieval lord, and now you're a barista. So it's like, whatever it is, whenever you feel that, it's always true. It's always something. You have a lot to look forward to, though. But, maybe in that past life, you just couldn't do something. Maybe in the past life, like the thing, like maybe they were maybe you were, maybe they did your books and you were a lord, and they did your finances and they handled your investments or your estate, and you were married and you guys just couldn't be together. And maybe now it's like, I just really like you. I don't know why, I just really like you. And it's not romantic in this lifetime, but maybe you can just enjoy the relationship. You can enjoy the connection in a way that you just were not allowed. You were very like emotionally strained and you just couldn't do it. So, if you feel like that about a person, however you feel about people, okay, it likely has roots in past life connections, and you're here to work it out, and you're here to continually, like, obviously move forward with that connection. Let's take a look at telepathy. I know you know. This is like what I told you with my anecdote with the oil gas can genie emoji story. It's like, totally missed it. They totally did not get, they just thought I was a dumb shit. They just thought I was fucking, it's hilarious. But it misses it. I feel it's the kicker though is that I do have ditzy moments, you know? So it's just like, it's what's this telepathy? What is this telepathy, please? Oh, interesting. So this is very social. This is very much the group. This is very much the artisan, the sculptor, the priest, and the financier that you kind of like, they all have their own roles. They all have their own duties. They all have their own thing that they do, their own way to contribute to building this cathedral, this house of prayer, this house of worship, whatever it is. So it's like, if you know that working with someone or collaborating with someone or um, being in a relationship with like a romantic relationship with someone or staying in this marriage to work on it, whatever it is, it's like the other person knows. And whatever it is, it's like the other side, like you're both really on the same page. So honestly, this looks like this is a telepathy. This is like someone just has to get over the ego. That's really what this week looks like for somebody here. And it could be the beginning of something really strong and long lasting. There's a past life connection here. And so you just got to get over it and just like talk it out. Okay. Ooh, Two of Cups, bottom of the deck. I love this energy because it's camaraderie, it's friendship, it's falling in love with your very best friend. It's being able to share anything and everything with them. It's being able to connect on a deeper level naturally. Naturally. You don't have to try to make it work. You don't have to explain your jokes to them. You don't have to go so far, you know? It's like they just get it, you just get it. It's just like a nice easy thing. I love you guys. I'm going to take this over to the flip side and break this week down for all the 12 signs, all the 12 zodiac signs, and it's going to be uber fun. So if I see you there, I'll see you there very shortly. Otherwise, my loves, until I'll be back for another collective reading. There's like I'm saying a log jam of psychic messages that want to come out for you guys. So I'll be back. Until then, many beautiful blessings upon all of your beautiful heads, darlings. Mwah.